This is one of China's most highly secretive and classified military projects. A highly advanced stealth aircraft built using American stealth technology, which is already being compared to the best Western fighters in the world.
They want to create an aircraft that will be intermediate between the American F-22 and F-35.
Capable of remaining undetected on radars, it will be able to carry out combat missions more than 1,000 kilometers from the point of takeoff, incorporating all of China's advanced technologies. This aircraft could pose a serious challenge to the entire NATO alliance. Information about it is still extremely scarce, so everything known is exclusively from observations by global intelligence and experts. So what exactly is the Chinese marvel, the J-35 fighter? This is what we'll discuss today in Arsenal. Very little is known about the history of this aircraft's creation, as well as about the aircraft itself. Judging by its appearance, it is a deep modernization of the previous fighter with the J index, which first took to the skies only in 2021.
It is essentially a continuation of the already existing J-21 line. And in fact, it is already approaching both in its external appearance and characteristics. They want to create an aircraft that will be at an intermediate plane between the American F-22 and F-35.
J-35 is an unofficial name, as Beijing has even concealed information about its name. What could not be hidden, however, is that the fighter was specifically developed for naval deployment. And according to some forecasts, it will be the main aircraft of modern Chinese aircraft carriers.
The attempt to create the J-35 is also an attempt to develop a modern fifth-generation aircraft that can be used from a naval platform. As a rule, this typically involves carefully adapting it to the specific Chinese project, which is based on Soviet aircraft carriers.
But it wasn't just the aircraft that underwent adaptation. Despite constant military exercises, China sent the aircraft carrier Liaoning for modernization for almost a year. As a result, experts noted extremely insignificant external changes, and it is evident that the main changes were made to the ship's interior. According to experts, this is specifically for servicing and accommodating the J-35 on it. As for the aircraft itself, it is currently mostly evaluated based on the characteristics of its Chinese fighter predecessors, reasonably assuming that these have likely been improved in the new model.
I mean, we don't know the specific characteristics. We're only basing our assumptions on the characteristics known to us from the J-20 and J-21. This generally includes our crew consisting of one person. The length of the aircraft is about 17 meters. And the use of two engines, which, by the way, although they are Chinese, are also based on the Soviet so-called RD models. That's the jet engine 33. They have undergone quite a few modifications.
One of the results was the WS-19 turbojet engine. It develops a thrust of about 12 tons and a dry thrust of more than 6. Such power allows for a maximum takeoff weight of approximately 28 tons in total.
Including the possibility of developing or boosting the existing engine to achieve more powerful parameters during takeoff, especially on a short runway. This is still, specifically the VS-13, which is used in the basic version, and the so-called VS-13E can be used. This is a modified version with increased thrust. It is including an enhanced afterburner mode.
It is expected that the aircraft will be able to carry up to 8 tons of external armaments and cargo, including 2 tons mounted externally. For example, external fuel tanks or additional missiles.
These are Chinese missiles of the PL-15 and PL-10 types, capable of destroying targets at a distance of about 30 kilometers for the PL-10 and 100, 152 or 200 kilometers for the PL-15. This is precisely a missile with an active radar homing head. That's on one hand. On the other hand, there is also a whole range of so-called cloning or guided aerial bombs.
The J-35 will indeed also have special characteristics simply to perform its main task, takeoff and landing from an aircraft carrier deck.
Overall, this aircraft will differ from the base model from which it is developed. First of all, it has a reduced wing area so that it takes up less space and requires the capability to take off from the deck. The wings will be foldable, so in fact they are modular, and there are special attachments for the catapult to launch it directly from the ship's deck.
As for the flight range, there is no official information available. According to experts, the J-35 will be able to cover a distance of about 1,200 kilometers. Moreover, if additional tanks are used, the distance will be even greater. The performance of the aircraft remains the main mystery of the J-35. Many agree that the fighter will be equipped with an AESA radar, a self-defense and electronic warfare system, as well as an electro-optical targeting system.
It is expected that this aircraft will already have a set of modern technologies. This is the so-called glass cockpit, which uses these electronic displays, including a head-up display, which allows to increase efficiency directly in air combat or for target detection. Another important element that can be used is precisely because this aircraft is claimed to be 5th generation. It involves the use of special coatings that reduce its visibility directly on the battlefield and to radars.
Speaking of radars, according to experts, the J-35's equipment will allow for extensive use of the aircraft for reconnaissance purposes. Currently, the Chinese Navy uses Z-18J helicopters for this purpose, but their capabilities are already outdated. The new fighter, especially when paired with unmanned aerial vehicles and a control center directly on the aircraft carrier, can elevate China's capabilities to a new level.
Of course, this involves the use of modern radar stations with active phased array, which allows for more accurate and long-range target detection. Because if the basic version used a radar that could see a distance of 150 to 200 kilometers, there is a significant possibility that in the new project, this radar was improved and the target detection range could have been increased to at least 250 or 300 kilometers.
As for the competitiveness of the J-35, analysts believe it is quite up to par. Naturally, without having precise information even about the name of the aircraft, making any detailed comparisons is simply incorrect. However, even the appearance of the Chinese stealth fighter already says a lot.
There are the R-22s and R-35s, and so the J-35, it essentially aims to fill the niche between these two aircraft. In fact, it is more like an attempt to specifically respond from the Chinese side to the capabilities in terms of naval aviation that the armed forces of the United States and other NATO countries already possess today.
A breakthrough in aviation armament is not expected at this particular moment in time, when the J-35 is finally introduced.
We understand that the range of armaments on NATO aircraft is very extensive, and overall it is likely to even surpass the range of armaments that China possesses.
Experts believe that the main feature of the aircraft will be its technical characteristics rather than its firepower.
As of today, it is still unclear what specific armament the new aircraft model will have. Most likely, it will be designed to use the existing types of missiles and bombs that are primarily used by Chinese fighters.
However, in some aspects, it might be able to surpass its Western competitors. That's the price. If China manages to make the aircraft cheaper than the American ones, the J-35 could become more financially advantageous than its overseas potential adversaries. Did you like the video? Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel, so you don't miss new episodes of Arsenal.